Network Service. My name is Ronke Kolawole. The All Progressives Congress APC says the People's Democratic Party PDP lacks the moral basis and credibility to comment on the country's economy. A statement issued by the media officer to the APC National Chairman Segun Dipe stressed that over $2.1 billion was lavished by the PDP government under the guise of purchasing arms to fight Boko Haram. Another $20 billion from oil proceeds never paid to the Federation account, 33 trillion national oil revenue that the PDP-led federal government never accounted for, as well as $47 million distributed to PDP faithful during the election. The APC national chairman therefore says this financial mismanagement thrown over 170 million Nigerians to abject poverty and suffering. The statement also indicated that the criticism from the PDP is just a mere distraction and the APC will not fall into the ploy. The Minister of Budget and National Planning, Senator Udoma says the present administration has the political will to turn around the nation's economy. The minister said this at a pre-summit workshop by the Infrastructure Public-Private Partnership Summit Group held in Abuja. Adibola Brookslyn Sunday has the details.
Is key to turning around the economy of any nation. The Buhari-led administration places priority on infrastructural development. The minister says the foresight of the administration led to the largest allocation to infrastructure in the 2016 budgets.
I can assure you that there is political support at the highest level. The President, Muhammad Buhari, is determined to turn this economy around.
The group says it's collaborating with the Ministry of Budgets and National Planning after a meeting with...
We liberate the Ajaokuta Steel Company from any arbitration encumbrance. He stated this at an investigative hearing over the matter by the House Subcommittee on Privatization, Commercialization and Steel. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
House Subcommittee on Privatization and Commercialization had a meeting with interest groups where it was agreed that the minister will have to attend to some questions concerning the signed concession. The Minister of State also said the federal government will discharge all liabilities and obligations related to NYOMCO.
Global will also discharge all its liabilities and obligations arising in respect of the concession area from the period between April 1st, 2005 and April 1st, 2008.
Chairman of the subcommittee, Babatunde Kolawole, stressed that the agreement ought to be a public document that Nigerians can access.
Nigerians want to know how this agreement will benefit them and why Global Steel Holding Limited, who created the situation in Delta Steel Company today, should be trusted with NYOMCO.
Against the misconception or perception of many Nigerians that we are against the privatization that was done earlier. No, we are not against. We want to perfect it. Where there was mistake, we need to fix it.
Followed by other contributions.
Allow these obvious economic activities to deliver benefits to the country.
There is a need for government to go and settle those people before even making an agreement with global infrastructure.
Has any due diligence be actually done before going to this modified constitutional agreement? Well, they said it's now going on after the signing. So,
members of the Joint Committee said all stakeholders, including the federal government, should go back to the drawing board, examine prevailing circumstances, and find a lasting solution. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
And now to political matters. The national chairman of the APC, Chief John Odigioyegun, wants Edo people to ensure that the development witnessed in the last 7 years is sustained by voting APC in the governorship election. Uduak Obang Achibong has the report.
Nations General Assembly resolution designated 19th August every year as the World Humanitarian Day, aimed at paying tributes to those As well as celebrating the spirit of those who have surmounted threats of life while rendering humanitarian services. This year, the United Nations and its partners are calling for global solidarity for the more than 130 million people around the world who need humanitarian assistance to survive.
There are people with various challenges who require, special attention. Therefore, those micro plan that has been developed will address those critical issues, will ensure that all those who require special needs, are being attended to.
Malnutrition in terms of the IDPs has been greatly managed.
We want to demonstrate that and tell the whole world that a lot of people out there need our service.
To really acknowledge the work humanitarians generally, government, local humanitarian actors, private sector, and also international partners.
Oxfam will, by the end of next year, reach out to 1.5 million.
In commemoration of the 2016 Humanitarian Day, the National Emergency Management Agency put together a walk. This is to show solidarity from men and women of valor who have, in one way or the other, contributed immensely in terms of humanitarian services. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
That was Olajide Bello's report on NEMA's observation of the Humanitarian Day. The Abia State Governor, Dr. Okeze Ikpeazu, has described the judiciary as the last hope of the common man. Governor Ikpeazu made this assertion while reacting to the outcome of the appeal court judgment, which reaffirmed his mandate as the governor of Abia State. Dennis Temple has the report.
Subjects covered at the workshop include periodic maintenance of joint protocol. The federal lawmaker, Honorable Sam Onibu, who was represented by his campaign director, General Elder Okichukwu Obioma, assured them that the skills they have acquired would not be a waste and encouraged them to pass on the skill they have acquired to others.
Knowledge is wealth. And if what you have been taught, if putting into practice, I am quite sure, the sky will not be your limit, maybe a stepping stone.
Others who spoke at the workshop encouraged the participants to make good use of the workshop. Some of the participants expressed their feelings.
Okay, I thank God and I thank everybody that we are here. Since day before yesterday, we are still here learning everything.
The program is a good one that will help me in person, even in the future to come.
The participants who were drawn from all the wards in Ikwano Mohe Federal Constituency will further undergo an advanced training on repairs and maintenance of dryer cycle in Umuahia. Omenka Amrachuku, NTA News.
You're still watching Nationwide on NTA Network Service. Lagos takes precautionary measures as 2016 flood approaches. We now join Abdullahi in our Lagos Center. Hello, Abdullahi. It is over to you.
Good to see you, Ronke, and thanks for joining us here in Lagos. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency has indicated that flooding is likely to occur at the end of the year, especially in states along the coast of the country. State governments are already appealing to residents in flood-prone areas to evacuate as they seek measures for a lasting solution. Lagos is one state that contends annually with flooding. How ready are the government and people of Lagos State to tackle this challenge? Rotimi Oluwagbemi reports.
Following the many sensitization and enlightenment campaigns by the Lagos State government, the residents have been alerted to dangers of flooding. Some of them have embarked on measures to prevent it. The first port of call was this street under Itre-Kate Local Council Development Area. Clearing of drainage was ongoing to ensure free flow of water.
Cleanliness is next to godliness. When you clean your environment, we won't have any kind of blockage in our drainages and even our roads as well. It won't be disturbed by any kind of flood.
Similarly, workers of the Ministry of Environment took time out to clear the gutters around the Ikeja area. The leader of the team has this to say.
Lagos State is among the states that said there will be flood. But our mission is to make sure that there is no flood in Lagos State.
And we are doing our best to make sure that there will never be flood in Lagos State.
Ensuring a safe and flood-free environment, the state government says, is a collective responsibility of all Nigerians that will help prevent dangers inherent in flooding and ensure a cleaner environment. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
Nigeria can attain sustainable development in the power sector only when abundant alternative sources of power in the country are harnessed and developed. Former Minister of Power, Professor Bath Inaji, stated this while delivering a lecture on sustainable development of power sector in Lagos. The lecture was jointly organized by the Department of Building, Faculty of Environmental Sciences, and the School of Postgraduate Studies of the University of Lagos. Musa Toliat completes the reports.
Professor Bath Inaji said the spate of gas pipeline vandalism needs to be effectively tackled so that power generation drive of the country can be enhanced. He suggested that there must be conscious efforts on the part of government geared towards exploration of alternative sources of power, which would guarantee constant supply of electricity to Nigerians at minimal cost.
We have to ensure sustainable fuel supply. U.S. produces more than 1 million megawatts of power. 400,000 of that, which is 40%, comes from coal. We have coal here. We're not making use of it.
Organizers of the lecture say the event is to equip students involved in construction projects with requisite knowledge on resource management and project development.
As a department, we are training all our students to ensure that they themselves, they are not just here just to have the certificate, how to contribute to what is in existence.
The goal of this lecture is to look at how to apply project management principles in achieving results in the development of the power sector.
As a faculty and as a university, with this information we have, it must generate a lot of research, a lot of studies, a lot of discussion.
The annual University of Lagos.
I should tell you that their candidate is Godwin Obaseki. It's our mission. It's a part of the vision. He made the planet we say for ourselves. He made what we accomplish and what is yet to be accomplished. But you know the way we want to do extra? Now the one we will call human development.
Meanwhile, the APC campaign train had visited the traditional rulers of these communities to pay homage and also seek their royal blessings and support. From Esako West Local Government Area, Udrakobong Achibong, NTA News.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has inaugurated the third Alpha Jet aircraft of the Nigerian Air Force, which was weaponized locally. Defense correspondent Isaac Okuma, who was at the Air Force Base KJ in Niger State, reports that the aircraft has just completed its test flight. The Chief of Air Staff says the introduction of another Alpha Jet is to boost counter-terrorism operations of the Nigerian military. More details in our subsequent bulletin. The long-awaited Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Commission, established to provide respite to communities often ravaged by overflow of dams in Nigeria, will soon become operational. This is the fallout of a meeting by governors of the affected states who further look into the extant act with a view to constituting a governing board that will oversee effective running of the commission. Fatima Aliyu, here's that report.
The Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission Bill was signed into law in 2010. The non-accessibility of the fund meant for the Commission from 2013 due to a lack of management team has continued to hinder the operations of the Commission, causing untold hardship, loss of lives, land and property of the community along the River Niger. The meeting therefore resolved to find lasting solution for the smooth takeoff of the Commission within the shortest possible time.
It was disclosed that the amendment has gone to second reading, and I think we have agreed to work closely together with the members of the National Assembly so we can move the process forward.
The states need to do more in order to maintain competitiveness, in order to make it easy for investors in the hydroelectric power sector to complete environmental impact assessment quickly
Power is very necessary, especially in this change mantra. I just came back from China, and I was also urging for establishment of more dams to encourage the generation of energy in my state.
Minister of the Supervising Ministry and the Senator from the hydro-producing states both put their weights behind the smooth takeoff of the commission.
Whatever it is that concerns the aspect of the bill, for either amendments or anything, I want to assure you the National Assembly is 100% in support.
It is my hope that the perennial problem of shortage of power supply, disasters such as lead poisoning, flooding and erosion will soon be a thing of the past as soon as the Commission fully takes off.
States under the Commission comprised of Kebbi, Kwara, Kogi, Niger and Plateau, with its secretariats located in Minna, Niger State. Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Kogi State government says it will continue to support federal government's renewed commitment to the completion of the Lokoja River port to boost water transportation and trade. Governor Yahaya Bello made this known while assessing work on the river port. Solomon Ayedeng reports.
The assessment visit was to avail Governor Yahaya Bello first-hand information on the level of work done so far on the Lokoja Port project. The Managing Director, National Inland Waterways Authority, Boss Gida Mustafa, told Governor Yahaya Bello that work has progressed steadily on the project following the intervention of President Muhammadu Buhari.
I am confident that under the tenure of President Buhari and your urban self here in Lokoja, we will be able to translate all the stories and all the theories of the past into permanent action to see that we turn around the fortunes.
Governor Yahaya Bello, who described Kogi State as a confluence of opportunities, said the abundant water resources in the state is one of the potentials that need to be tapped.
And I trust Mr. President that he will never award a contract that he doesn't have the money to pay. Now that he has directed that the work be speedily completed, the money is ready for the contractors to be paid as soon as they are completing their job.
The governor also charged the host community to remain supportive of the cause and the contractor to expedite action on the project, stressing that the state and Nigerians are eager to tap into the economic benefits of the port. Solomon Ayedehi, NTA News.
Thank you, Solomon. Benue State government restates commitment to clamp down on criminal activities in the state. We now join Susan in our Makurdi Network Center for this and more stories. Hello, Susan. It's over to you.
Thank you, Ronke, and welcome to Makurdi. The Benue State government has restated its determination to use all strategies at its disposal to clamp down on criminals who are threatening the security of the state. This is part of resolutions of the State Security Council meeting held at the State Police Command Headquarters in Makurdi. Charles Abba has details.
Following the recent killing of the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Special Security, Dene Ibana, and other criminal activities that are being perpetrated in Benue State, the state government has continued to employ strategies to clamp down on the perpetrators. It is to ensure awareness of this effort that the State Security Council has assured the citizens of its commitment to ending insecurity in the state. Deputy Governor of Benue State, Benson Abonu, and the Commissioner of Police, Bashir Makama, disclosed that a number of the accomplices of Tewase Agwaza are in the police net. They also revealed that one of the kidnappers of Mrs. Okonkwo, who was released after a ransom of 2 million naira was paid, has been nabbed.
The police, the army, they are carrying out what they are doing now according to the rules of their engagement.
This operation, of course, is aimed at wiping out criminals, hoodlums who have made this state unsafe.
Various items recovered from the arrested suspects include arms and ammunition, vehicles, substances suspected to be Indian hemp, and charms, among others. In Makurdi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
A document containing the action plan on violence against children has been launched in Makurdi. the Benue State capital. The document is to protect children from physical, sexual, and emotional violence. Blessing Omeche Ebute completes the report.
Statistics provided by National Population Commission with support from UNICEF shows that 6 out of every 10 children suffer one form of violence or the other in Nigeria. The survey also revealed that victims of violence fail to report such cases to appropriate quarters, thereby making it impossible for them to get redress. It is to check this trend that it has become necessary to find ways of addressing the menace. Wife of the governor, Dr. Eunice Otom, said, Benue State being the third to launch the campaign in the country is an indication of the level of preparedness of the government to reduce violence against children to the barest minimum. Other speakers at the event called for collaborative efforts to promote policies and strategies that will protect the Benue child from any form of violence. The launch of the Violence Against Children is an achievement of the Sustainable Mechanism for Improving Livelihoods and Household Empowerment SMILE project in collaboration with USAID, UNICEF, and the State Ministry of Women Affairs. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
Arrangements have been stepped up to ensure Taraku Mills commences production to full capacity. This indication came to light when the major investor for the multi-million naira industry visited Governor Samuel Otom at the government house in Makurdi. Achigili Magaji reports.
For the plant was mooted in the early 80s, but was inaugurated in 1987. It played a major role in the development of the state's economy until mismanagement saw its fortune go down after some years. The factory became moribund for a very long time, as efforts by subsequent administrations failed to resuscitate it. The renewed political will by the present administration in the state to reactivate it is through the private partnership arrangement. The investor, Afrigate Network West Africa, is a consortium of technical, financial, and managerial experts from Romania, Nigeria, and Ghana, made up of the original builders of the factory. The consortium, which has already registered 20,000 outgrowers in the state, is to generate 200 megawatts of electricity for the plant and the community, as well as establishing farming centers in the 3 senatorial districts in the state.
We have agreed with Afrigate to put our technical team together. We've been here several times. We have evaluated what has gone wrong there.
Governor Samuel Otom noted that though investors have indicated interest on the plant, government is mindful of the sustainability, profitability, and technical competence. He said great importance is being paid to the plant because of the potential of the plant to take Benue State out of poverty, and expressed government's readiness to support it after the completion of the due diligence. The plant has the capacity to employ about 1,000 persons directly and to handle about 10,000 tons per day of soybeans. In Makurdi, Achigili Magaji, NTA News.
That's it from Makurdi. It's back to Ronke in Abuja for more on NTA Nationwide.
Thank you, Susan. UNESCO makes case for girl child education in Nigeria. We hope you join us for the details after this time out.
A bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter. That might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words. Run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Digital technology and information is changing the world. For our children to stay ahead and compete globally, they must evolve from being users to creators of technology. Digital Peers International, in conjunction with partners, is organizing the 16th edition of Digitest, tagged ITpreneurship, a roadmap to a sustainable future for children aged 8 to 18 years and school teachers. Dates: August 24th to September 2nd, 2016, Abuja. Kids will be taught on how to code, design and build mobile and desktop apps. For registration and participation, visit www.digitalpeers.org or call the numbers on your screen. The digital revolution has already begun. Do not allow your kids to be left out.
We intend to radically change Newman Street. My company has a track record of converting slums into new cities. Many years of experience has taught us to fish out allies within the communities we want to transform.
Don't listen to your husband. Listen to me. Give me a boy. And the two of you may never even have to work again.
Sharp guy, how are you? What's your name? Akpos. America. Oh, Akpos America.
Yeah,
one. Love you too.
Wonderful wonder!
Wonderful wonder!
This is a sheer exhibition of your primitive atavistic tendency.
Oh, man.
Any student who does not donate to my ministry will not be blessed by the ministry.
A phenomenon that defies the norm. A comedy and social satire that touches all, bears all, and shakes you up like never before.
Yeah, like after now you go say me they talk what is the bad thing where they have for this one.
Glow presents Professor John Bull, the biggest thing on your TV this season, starring Kanayo Okanayo, Mercy Johnson, Queen Wokoye, Yomi Fash Lanzo, Funky Malam, Ime Bishop, Bimbo Akintola, Oguz Baba, Bidemi Kosoko, Junior Pope MC for God, Stephen Odingwe, and a host of other mega stars.
Within April 12th, there is a Yura.
Intellectual Professor John Bull, every Tuesday and Friday, 8:30 to 9 p.m. on NTA International, NTA Network, and Star Time. Over and
out. The largest data network, Globe Unlimited.
Successful political change must begin to improve people's daily lives. That is the democracy dividend Nigerians have waited for. But no one should expect that all the damage done over a generation can be undone in a year. Real change demands perseverance and patience. It demands openness to honorable compromise and cooperation. It demands support on a constant basis from the people of Nigeria and from your friends abroad. That does not mean being patient with corruption or injustice, but to give up hope because change comes slowly would only be to hand a victory to those who do not want to change at all. Remember something we Americans have learned in over 224 years of experience with democracy. It is always and everywhere a work in progress.
The NSCDC Public Enlightenment Program, The Defender, is back on NTA Network every Monday, 6:30 to 7 p.m. Stay tuned.
For over 25 years, I have been privileged to anchor various programs on television.
But the news program that I find most exciting and challenging is the Weekend File. This is largely because of its philosophy of engaging all classes of people, the artisans, politicians, technocrats, captains of industry, and professional analysts on issues that touch all aspects of life and living. In the conversations that follow, you find complexities, different views, ideologies, thought patterns, and individual beliefs. It's quite engaging. We do this Saturdays on NTA Network Service at 9 p.m. It's Weekend File, but you call it Weekend Companion, and it's all about nation building. Join me, Kirian Umayo, and production crew every Saturday for this weekend treat, and I can tell you that it is unmissable. Make it a day.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture immediately and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. You can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
Glad you're still with us on Nationwide on NTA Network Service. The National Business and Technical Examinations Board, NABTEB, has released the May-June 2016 examination results. The registrar, Professor Ifoma Isuigo Abahie, announced the release of the result in Benin, Edo State. EVA Omarui has the report.
That a total of 69,472 candidates enrolled for the examination nationwide. 38,280 candidates have 5 credits and above with English language and mathematics representing 55.93%, while 54,485 have 5 credits and above with or without English language and mathematics representing 79.61% of those examined.
A total of 21,304 representing 30.38% were certified as classmen in 2016. With that of last year, 2015, which was 19,000 candidates, representing just 24.73%. You see that we have an increase of almost about 6%.
She also disclosed that 2,273 candidates representing 3.32% were involved in examination malpractices. In Benin, Ivie Omori, NTA News.
And still on education, the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, is strengthening its commitment towards the fight against illiteracy among the girl child in Nigeria. To this effect, the organization has appointed 2 goodwill ambassadors to conduct its affairs for the realization of the objective in different regions of the country. Science correspondent Kirian Umayu reports.
UNESCO ambassadors Fatima Abdurrahman and Patience Hosfall Obuza are advocates of the project in Rivers State and the FCT. Professor Gidado Tahil urged them to fight any hindrance that stands on the way of providing the girl child with quality education.
We thank the Rivers State government for giving us this wonderful lady who is here, and the FCT for giving us Hadia, because we have seen, your backgrounds and the kind of contribution that you have made in the sector, in this particular sector, education sector in general. And particularly, the relationship that you have with the government and the people of the River State as well as that of FCT.
talking about focusing on girl child education and the education of women. And the women are the ones mostly who raise the children. And so I feel that with the terms of reference I have in my appointment here, God will help me so that we be able to get relevant agencies who are expected to fund these projects to do so.
I've put in my best to see that the education of the girl child in the Federal Capital Territory is really encouraged and improved.
Illiteracy has proven to be a major obstacle on the way of the girl child in Nigeria, and UNESCO says it is time to provide a solution. Kirian Umayo, NTA News.
In other news, the Nigerian police has decried the alarming rate of rape cases in Nigeria and enjoined victims to summon courage to report incidences to appropriate authorities. First Public Relations Officer Donald Awuna, joined by other experts to discuss the issue, gave the advice on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria Today. Timothy Yusuf reports.
That in 2014 alone, Lagos State had 270 reported cases of rape and increased to 513 in 2015. Kano in 2015 recorded 189, Adamawa 7, Benue 6. The records are in fact endless. First Public Relations Officer Donald Awuna called on child rights advocates and related non-governmental organizations to report incidences of rape to the police and not through the media.
If you have a case of rape, the first place to go is the police station. But so make mistake of going to the church, going to their uncle, going to because time is of essence. By the police station, you'll be referred to specialists.
Experts identified a situation whereby rape victims eventually become the accused as major factor militating against justice for them.
The Nigerian system, for me, has not improved, has not given any platform for treatment for such victims. We tend to let go of the perpetrators of this crime.
While pointing out that indecent dressing is not an excuse for people to be raped, the Gate said unless perpetrators are brought to book, rape cases will continue to be on the increase.
The issue of perception is a great problem, and I think our society generally needs to have like a reorientation program to know that people who are raped are the victims.
People keep thinking that if you go to court to discuss the case of rape, then you are open to all kinds of comments and insults, and they don't want their families to be involved.
Report shows that rape cases are more rampant in the urban areas, while Nigeria's laws do not recognize a situation where a woman may also rape a man. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Senate in 2015 passed the Sexual Offences Bill, which prescribes life imprisonment for rapists and those who have sexual intercourse with children under 11 years. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Osun State Command of the NDLEA to destroy cannabis farms. Kemi is on guide on this and more reports from Ibadan Center. Hello, Kemi.
Hello, Ronke. Good afternoon and welcome to Ibadan. The Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, BON, is set to sanitize and reposition the media industry in order to ensure professionalism. Chairman of BON, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, who also is the Director General of NTA, said these at the inauguration of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters in Ibadan. Correspondent Rafi Anemashan reports.
It was a gathering brought together by Ratawo in conjunction with Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria with the aim of providing a professional and regulatory council for broadcasters in the country. Chairman, Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, Malam Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, who was represented, said the strategy for resuscitation is bringing in seasoned broadcasters in Ratawo, from which future members are drawn to create a roadmap and breathe a new life into broadcasting.
What we want to avoid or probably eliminate is free entry and free exit into this profession. It's a profession worldwide that people respect. Without us, nothing happens.
National President Ratawu Dr. Yemisi Bangboshi called on the National Assembly to give a sympathetic hearing to the bill when it is presented to the legislature.
That the kind of job you are doing there, whether you are a reporter or a producer or you are an engineer, as long as that is your field, you are also a member of society.
I know that the proponents of these ideas and the current membership today that has resuscitated this organization, there are people who are very, very passionate about broadcasting. So I don't have any doubt that they will sit down and do really, really a good work to establish the standards that everybody who wants to be a broadcaster will be subjected to.
A coordinator of media organizations from each state was later selected to relate with each other in the zone. In Ibadan, Rofia Animation, NTA News.
The media have been urged to accord priority to issues of national security and patriotism over commercial, regional, or political interests in the interest of the unity of the nation. This was a summary of discussion at the Day 2 of the Nigerian Union of Journalists National Summit in Abuja. Correspondent Lekwan Boderi completes the report.
The media and national unity, financing the economy for national unity, social media and national cohesion, and building a strong union were subject of discourse as top guns from the media, security and financial sectors chart the way forward towards repositioning the media to effectively play its role in engendering unity and security of the nations.
Mass media should rise above commercial, regional and political interests to the height of patriotism and nationalism in the discharge of their duties.
The media must be able to control its own internal processes so as not to attract the attention of the police or whoever thinks, or the army.
Veteran journalists suggested that media practitioners must toe the path of ethics, professionalism, and work hard to reposition the union for efficiency and results.
Please let us ensure that we professionalize the media by obeying the code of ethics.
Why should we be afraid of regulation? Why can't we be accountable to other people?
Speakers agreed that the issues of national unity, security, and development remain the collective responsibilities of all Nigerians. In Abuja, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
The management of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Oyo State has been advised to discharge their duties without fear or favor in conducting elections. The INEC chairman, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, stated this during his visit to Ibadan. Correspondent Shola Wahid has the report.
INEC chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu said the purpose of his visit is to assure workers of their welfare and also to chart them towards being effective and professional in the discharge of their duties.
There will be by-elections this weekend in Oyo and Sokoto State. That will bring the tally to 139 elections. So it's like elections every weekend since the commission was sworn in. Nevertheless, we are also paying attention to preparations for 2019 elections. We gave our commitment to this country that we shall consolidate the gains of 2015.
Resident Electoral Commissioner of INEC in Oyo State, Dr. Gabriel Ada, appreciated the chairman for choosing Oyo State as the first to be visited in the Southwest. He assured the chairman that the by-election of the Oyo State constituency will be free and fair.
All the non-sensitive materials required for the elections have been delivered to the local government area, while the sensitive ones we have also delivered.
Staff of INEC in Oyo State appreciated their chairman's visit in Ibadan. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Osun State Command, has destroyed 21 hectares of Indian hemp farm worth 84 million naira at Onikete Forest Reserve in Ishokon local government area of Osun State. Correspondent Abolade Salami reports.
Ishokon is a local government area with its headquarters at Akpomo. It has an area span of about 179 kilometers and a population of about 104,000 people who are predominantly farmers. The invasion of the area by officers and men of the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency followed a tip-off that the cultivation of cannabis sativa was going on at Onikete Forest Reserve in the Ishokon area of the state. Officers and men of the agency, along side sister agencies on the forest, where it was discovered that 21 hectares of the land was being used to cultivate the weed. While supervising the destruction of the farm, NDLEA State Commander Mrs. Sylvia Egunwoke said the agency will not relent on its efforts to rid the state of illicit drugs.
This plant we are destroying today I don't think it gives any health benefits. So why do we want to destroy the lives of our youth?
The huts used as hideouts by the perpetrators and other illegal items found were also destroyed. From the Ishokon local government of Osun State, Abola Salami, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Ronke, it's back to you for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Kemi, in Ibadan. To ensure transparency and accountability, the Plateau State government has inaugurated a judiciary commission of inquiry to review the activities of immediate past administration. Menrot Nina Dinget reports that the government said the inquiry is to right the wrongs and improve governance in the state.
Lalong says the decision to inaugurate the commission became necessary, going by the magnitude of information at government's disposal. This information came both from the submissions of the Transition Committee headed by the Deputy Governor, Professor Sonny Tioden, various ministerial committees, as well as the preliminary audit and that of accounts committees. The process, he says, is to allow every Plateau person the opportunity to objectively assess how the Commonwealth and the affairs of the state were administered.
And by the same parameter with which we assess others, we also are setting the parameter on which we will be assessed.
Chairman of the Commission, Justice Stephen Ada, noted that the inquiry is not a witch hunt, but for fact-finding.
We also call on all the good people of Plateau State and the members of the public at large to come up with facts and relevant information required for this inquiry.
The terms of reference of the Commission, among others, ascertain all financial transactions done or entered into by Plateau State Government or any of its ministries, departments and agencies from the 29th day of May 2007 to the 29th day of May 2015. The five-man committee, headed by a judge of the Court of Appeal, Justice Stephen Ada, has Alhaji Sani Mavo as secretary. In Jos, Nerot Nina Dinget, NTA News.
Labour Party chooses governorship candidates. We now join Beauty in Benin for this report and many more. Hello, Beauty.
Good afternoon and welcome to Benin. Labour Party says human capital development, social and food security will be its major focus if elected in the September 10 governorship election. This was when the party flagged off its campaign ahead of the election in Benin City. Good luck in INEC. We take up the details.
Supporters of the party turned out in their numbers to witness the historic event, which they say is the first in the party's history in the state. Deputy National Chairman of the party, Bobo Atari Adao, and some officials of the party say Labour Party will make a difference if elected in the governorship election. They described their candidate, Pastor Amos Arelugbe, and his running mate, Mrs. Jane Osage, as people with proven integrity.
Faith promises over that you want people who are ready to serve and not masters who will treat you like slaves.
The party's candidate, Pastor Amos Arelugbe, a chartered accountant, described his mandate as divine, as he promised to govern in the fear of God if elected.
We were sent by God. Yes. It's a divine mandate. Yes. I want to assure the people of Edo State. Yes. That there's going to be transparency.
I know he has what it takes to deliver. And the first thing it takes to deliver is the fear of God.
I am Goodluck Inaini, NTA News.
The United Progressive Party in Edo State has officially flagged off its campaign in Benin City, the Edo State capital. The party message is to reposition the state and provide a conducive environment to boost business. Lawrence Okoje was there.
Voters drawn from the three central districts were in joyful mood when the party's candidate advisor, Shedrack Lowamagbe, was presented the party's flag. by the national chairman of the United Progressive Party. The national chairman of the party, Chief Chekas Okorie, and the state chairman, Monday Inen, say United Progressive Party is set to change the face of Edo State and to rescue Edo people from poverty and attract development in all ramifications.
What I have seen is a movement that will move to the government house of Edo State.
The governorship hopeful, Shedrack Nwangwe, assured Edo people of his determination to stimulate the state economy through creation of jobs for the youth and empower traders on small and medium-scale businesses if given the mandate.
In collaboration with the House of Assembly to enact a law recognizing and legalizing the vigilante group to work with security agencies in the state.
Supporters of the party described Advisor Nwangwe as a man of the people who will be ready to serve and deliver on his promises. The party, however, says the door-to-door campaign has commenced in earnest to win more members into its fold. In Benin, Lawrence Okoje, NTA News.
Our tax is complete here. It's back to you, Ronke.
Thank you so much, Beauty. The United States Secretary of State, John Kerry, is to visit Nigeria next week. A statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs indicates that Mr. Kerry will pay a courtesy call on President Muhammadu Buhari. He will also hold bilateral talks with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Oyama, as well as meet some northern governors and religious leaders in the context of the Nigerian government counter-terrorism efforts. In the meantime, Nigeria and Mali have agreed to foster stronger bilateral and sub-regional cooperation in tackling the menace of terrorism. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jeffrey Oyama, said this at a strategic meeting with Malian delegation in Abuja. Gabriel Odu has that report.
Nigeria and Mali established binational commissions since 1999 and have maintained a robust and excellent relation. But both ministers agree that the tenets of the binational commission have not been effectively implemented, especially in areas of security and intelligence gathering.
We're in the process of instituting far-reaching reforms of ECOWAS, and we are very much on the same page with your country on the reforms that need to be made and on the importance of sub-regional integration.
Nigerian policy toward Mali have been always a support to the unity, the territorial integrity, and the secular nature of Mali, which was really at the core of the crisis we went through. And we also know Nigeria participated financially and made pledges when we organized a conference in 2013 in Brussels for financing of development in Mali, as well as the conference held in Addis Ababa.
The meeting also discussed issues of youth unemployment and more strategic support in continental and multilateral cooperations. In Abuja, Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
And now from the world scene, United Nations Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, discovers that underage boys are being forced to join armed groups in South Sudan. And Australia stops the sale of its biggest energy grid to 2 Chinese companies for security reasons. This and more on Global Tidbits with Chimdima Ndubisi.
That both supporters of President Salva Kiir and former Vice President Riek Machar have been recruiting children as young as 12-year-old boys into armed groups. Over 650 children are said to have been forced to join armed groups since the beginning of the year. In Mauritania, a court sentenced 13 anti-slavery activists to 3 and 5 years in prison for being part of a violent protest in June. The group was demonstrating against displacement of residents from a slum. An 25-year-old Somalian refugee set up a center in Kenya's Dadaab refugee camp to help girls and women dealing with the trauma of sexual violence. In another development, the reviewer of terror legislation in Britain has backed spies on harvesting large amounts of data from emails, hacking of phones and computers, in principle, with some reservation. This, he said, will help intelligence agencies in the fight against terror, as there is no other alternative. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
Thank you, Chimdema. And that ends Nationwide on NTA Network Service. We thank you for watching. Do join us at 7 for the international news and the network news at 9. I am Runke Kolawole. Thanks for watching.